You don't lose strength overnight. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you really paid attention to your legs? Not just whether they hurt, but how they move, how they feel when you get up in the morning, how steady they are when you carry groceries or step out the car or reach for something on a high shelf. Most people only notice their legs when something starts to go wrong. A wobble, a hesitation, a subtle weakness that didn't used to be there. But here's the truth that too many seniors learn the hard way. You don't lose strength in one day. You lose it in thousands of tiny moments. Moments where you say, I'm tired, I'll rest longer. It's just a little ache, no big deal. I'll walk tomorrow. And those choices, so human, so understandable, begin to accumulate. Leg weakness doesn't announce itself loudly. It sneaks in like fog, quiet, creeping. One day you're climbing stairs with ease. The next, you're gripping the railing, wondering when that changed. But what makes this topic urgent isn't just a physical change. It's what follows. Because when leg strength fades, so does independence. And when independence fades, so can confidence, identity, and joy. As a doctor, I've seen strong, sharp, vibrant people become afraid to walk across a room. Not because of illness, but because their legs were quietly neglected. Not intentionally, but silently, through habits that feel innocent. So today I invite you, gently but firmly, to take a closer look at your daily patterns, at the routines you may not even question anymore. Because the path to strength doesn't begin in a gym. It begins with awareness. Let's walk that path together, starting right now. Point 1. Sitting too long without movement. Let's be honest. Sitting is comfortable. After a long life of work, raising families, and chasing responsibilities, many people over 60 finally feel like they've earned their rest. And you absolutely have. But here's the paradox. The very rest you've earned can quietly erode the strength that keeps you moving, independent, and confident. Sedentary behavior is now considered one of the top contributors to age-related muscle decline. Even just 6 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sitting per day is linked to reduced leg strength, slower walking speed, and higher fall risk. The problem isn't that you're sitting. It's that you're sitting without interruption. Why does this happen? When we sit for long periods, our body stops activating key muscle groups like the glutes, quadriceps, and calves. Blood flow slows. Nerve signals become dull. Over time, this creates a state called neuromuscular deactivation. In simple terms, your muscles forget how to fire properly. Real story. George, the retired teacher I mentioned earlier, loved curling up with mystery novels. One day, while stepping out of the bathtub, his legs buckled. No dizziness, no illness, just weakness from too many quiet hours spent in one position. That fall shook his confidence more than any diagnosis ever had. What can we learn from this? Movement doesn't have to be grand or intense to matter. You don't need an exercise bike or fancy gym. You just need to honor the rhythm your body was designed for. Try this. Every 45 minutes, stand up, march in place. Do 5 knee lifts. Walk down the hall and back. Even while watching TV, during commercials, make a habit to move. Because each time you activate your muscles, you're reminding them, I still need you. I'm still here. Let's stay strong together. Point 2, skipping strength training. Let me clarify something important. Walking is wonderful for your heart, lungs, mood, and more. But walking alone is not enough to preserve or rebuild leg strength after 60. Here's the biology. As we age, our body naturally breaks down more muscle than it rebuilds. This silent process is called sarcopenia, and it often begins as early as your 50s, accelerating with each passing decade. And unless your muscles are given a reason to grow through resistance or load-bearing activity, they will shrink no matter how active you feel. The problem? Most people over 60 don't realize how much strength they're losing until it's already gone. Real story. Linda, 68, walked 2 miles every morning and believed she was doing everything right. But when her granddaughter asked her to help move a light box, Linda froze. Her legs trembled. She realized she hadn't done a single squat, lunge, or lift in over 15 years. Her cardiovascular system was strong, but her muscular system had been left behind. Here's the truth. Without strength training, muscles weaken. And weak muscles don't just affect mobility. They impact balance, bone density, joint health, and even metabolism. What can you do? You don't need dumbbells or a gym membership. Try chair squats, stand up and sit down 10 times. Wall push-ups, standing leg curls while brushing your teeth, step-ups using your staircase or a sturdy step. Just 2 to 3 sessions per week, 10 to 15 minutes each, can transform your mobility over time. And remember, you're not training to be a bodybuilder. You're training to live freely, independently, and confidently. It's never too late to begin. The best time to start building strength was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Point 3, eating too little protein. Let's talk about something we often overlook in the second half of life. Nutrition that feeds our muscles. You might think, I don't eat much, but that's okay. I'm older, I don't need as much food. But here's the hidden truth. As we age, we actually need more protein per meal, not less. Why? Because the body's ability to process protein, called muscle protein synthesis, declines with age. That means that even if you eat the same chicken breast at 70 that you did at 40, your body doesn't use it as efficiently to repair and build muscle. The result? You slowly lose muscle mass. Not because of inactivity alone, but because your muscles are starving, even if your stomach feels full. Real story. Ellen, 74, was proud of her light eating. Toast and tea in the morning, some fruit for lunch, and a small salad at dinner. She felt clean and healthy. But she started noticing something unsettling. Her thighs looked thinner. Her legs felt unsteady. She struggled to rise from chairs without using her arms. Her doctor found no serious illness. But her nutritionist said 5 words that changed everything. You're underfeeding your strength. What's the fix? Aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. That could look like 2 scrambled eggs with cheese and avocado toast, Greek yogurt with chia seeds and almonds, lentil soup with whole grain bread, grilled salmon with quinoa and steamed spinach. Don't worry if you're not a big meat eater. Plant-based proteins like tofu, tempeh, beans, and nuts count too. And if you struggle to eat large portions, spread your protein throughout the day. A little at every meal is better than a lot all at once. Remember, muscle is made from protein, and protein is made from intention. Fuel your legs the way you fuel your future, with care, consistency, and compassion. Point 4, neglecting balance and coordination. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you practiced your balance? You might think, well, I haven't fallen, so I must be fine. But here's the reality most seniors don't hear from their doctors. Balance is not something you have. It's something you train. And as we age, that training becomes more important than ever. Why? Because after 60, our proprioception, our body's internal sense of position and movement, begins to fade. So does our vestibular function, the system in our inner ear that keeps us upright and oriented. Combined with slower reaction times and weakened leg muscles, this creates the perfect storm for falls. And here's the thing. You can be strong and still fall if your brain and body aren't working in harmony. Real story. Jim, 76, had strong legs from years of hiking. But one morning, while turning to grab his jacket, he lost his footing and fell. There was no obstacle, no slippery surface, just a slight misjudgment of weight and momentum. His strength didn't fail. His balance reflex did. What can you do? Train your balance just like you'd train a muscle with intention. Try these. Stand on one leg while brushing your teeth. Use the sink for support if needed. Heel-to-toe walk along a hallway line, like walking a tightrope. Practice reaching side to side while seated or standing. Enroll in Tai Chi or beginner balance classes. They're proven to reduce fall risk dramatically. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day can retrain your nervous system to stay sharp, stable, and responsive. And remember, you don't wait to practice balance until after you fall. You do it now, so you don't fall later. Balance is your body's way of saying, I'm still here. I still know where I am. Don't let it go quiet. Point 5. Wearing poor footwear at home. Here's a detail most people don't think twice about. What you wear on your feet, especially inside your home. But the truth is, your feet are the foundation of every step you take. And when that foundation is unstable, your legs have to work overtime to compensate. Or worse, they begin to weaken from misalignment. At home, many older adults love soft slippers, flip-flops, or walking barefoot. It feels cozy, familiar, but what feels good in the short term may be quietly undoing your posture, muscle balance, and joint health. Why does this matter? When you wear shoes without proper support, your body shifts out of alignment. Knees may rotate inward, hips may tilt, ankles may overcompensate. Over time, your calves tighten, your thighs weaken, and your stability suffers. Real story. Margaret, 70, wore the same loose house slippers for years. She thought they were harmless until she began experiencing chronic knee pain and subtle foot dragging. A podiatrist discovered her arches had collapsed and her legs were adjusting in damaging ways. A simple switch to supportive indoor shoes made a world of difference. What can you do? Look for a firm sole that keeps the foot stable, arch support to maintain foot alignment, heel cup to prevent side-to-side wobbling, non-slip grip to reduce fall risk on tile or wood floors. Good choices include orthopedic slippers, indoor walking shoes, or even sneakers that stay clean and are dedicated for indoor use. And remember, you wouldn't build a house on a shaky foundation. Don't walk your life on one either. What seems like a small choice, your slippers, could be the quiet difference between strength and instability. Choose wisely. Your legs will thank you with every steady step. Point 6. Ignoring early discomfort. Let's be honest. Pain, especially after 60, can feel like an old friend. A little stiffness here, an ache there. You shrug it off and say, that's just part of getting older. But here's something your body has been trying to tell you all along. Pain is not punishment. It's a signal. And when you ignore that signal, the problem doesn't disappear. It adapts, often in the wrong direction. Your body is smart. If one knee hurts, you shift your weight to the other. If your hip feels tight, you start leaning to the side. This natural compensation protects you in the moment, but over time, it creates imbalances that can weaken entire muscle chains. Real story. Robert, 69, had a minor ache in his right knee. He stopped kneeling, then bending, then even walking long distances. A year later, his right thigh had visibly shrunk. The leg was 15% weaker than his left, and he developed a limp that threw off his entire posture. All because he didn't want to bother the doctor. Here's the lesson. You don't have to wait until pain becomes unbearable. You don't even have to push through it. You just need to respond to it with curiosity and care. Try this. Gentle range of motion stretches for the joints. Low-impact movement like water walking or chair yoga. A visit to a physical therapist for a personalized plan. Even simple tools like foam rollers or warm compresses can ease tension before it becomes serious. And most importantly, treat discomfort as an invitation, not a sentence. Your legs, your body are speaking to you. When you listen with compassion, you give yourself the best chance to stay strong, balanced, and pain-free for the years ahead. Reclaiming your strength one step at a time. Let's take a breath together and reflect. You've just heard how small daily habits, things so easy to overlook, can slowly weaken your legs after 60. But if you're feeling discouraged, let me gently offer this truth. What was done gradually can also be undone gradually. One small, intentional step at a time. The beauty of a human body, especially in later life, is that it wants to heal. It doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency. It needs care. It needs you. Maybe your knees ache. Maybe you feel unsteady. Maybe stairs feel harder than they used to, or you hesitate before standing up. That's not failure. That's your body whispering, help me stay strong. Don't give up on me now. And you don't have to. You can rebuild strength. You can restore balance. You can walk with confidence again. Start small. Stand up a little more often. Add a few leg lifts while watching TV. Try a protein-rich breakfast tomorrow. Dust off those sneakers with real arch support. These aren't just physical choices. They're emotional ones. They say, I still matter. I'm still capable. I still want to live actively, joyfully, independently. So I invite you to look down at your legs right now, those legs that have carried you through decades of life, and say, thank you. Let's keep going. Now it's your turn. Backhand index pointing right, which of the 6 habits surprised you the most? Backhand index pointing right, what's one thing you'll change starting today? Tell us in the comments. And if you know someone else who deserves to walk with strength, share this video with them. Like, subscribe, stay connected. Because together we're not just aging, we're aging well. One strong, steady step at a time.